The human spirit is a pretty remarkable thing. We're all just fragile human beings, and you have to be compassionate because none of us are going to live forever. We're all biodegradable. I always want people that I take care of to know that I truly care about them, that I don't just do this because it's a job.
I was a paper boy carrying papers on Dixie Street back in the 40s and saw the first hospital built there, and it's exciting to see our latest renovation that we have going on now. The aphorism is quality, quality, quality.
When I was growing up, everybody that had a baby had to go to Atlanta. But now that we have them here, it's wonderful.
When I came to town, there were less than 80 physicians on staff. There's close to 200 now.
It's been a very good feeling to know you have that kind of medical community where you live, so that you can get help you need when you need it.
You find yourself able to participate in what has been a complete transformation of care in this community within the last 3 or 4 years. It's been a tremendously gratifying experience to be part of that. The thing you can't teach people, you can only potentiate it through the environment, is personal excellence through compassion. And that's what separates this place from a lot of the places in this nation and across the world.
I was taking a shower, and when you take a shower, your skin becomes soft, and I had felt it sticking up through my skin.
She was terrified. She had children and grandchildren, and she wanted to live to be an old woman and see them grow.
We did a biopsy of that mass, and it came back as cancer. And you know, she's young, was premenopausal, and so I knew we needed to be aggressive in her treatment.
The word cancer make you feel like you got to go pick out a body bag or pick out your casket or your burial lot.
We have been one of the leaders in the whole state of Georgia in offering the newest and latest innovations in cancer treatment. Carrollton and Tanner seem to want to stay right at that level, and so there's a lot of things on the horizon right now.
She has a lot of spirit, and you can see a lot of fire inside of her. And even though I knew that this was going to be hard for her, I knew she had the strength to make it through it.
They are at a very vulnerable point in their lives where they really desperately need somebody. So you get to know them very, very well, and it's very rewarding.
You're connected to one another forever. When you cry, they cry. When you talk, they listen. They got the right doctors in the right places. I tell them it all the time. They are meant for where they are because they're doctors with a heart.
The best part of my day is saying, well, I've looked at your exam, I've looked at your studies, you're still in remission, congratulations.
The first 2 hours are precious and critical.
If you can open the artery as soon as possible, it saves lives and muscle.
1 out of every 3 people never make it to the hospital. They die before they do. When a patient has a heart attack and present to the emergency room, the treatment that we offered up until now was to give them clot-busting medicines, and if they failed that medical therapy, they had to be shipped out to another facility to get angioplasty instead. Now we have the capability of opening that artery up directly.
So now we go from diagnostics to intervention, and that's key. Here I was with an artery that was blocked in 2 places, 90%. I had one artery that was almost 100% blocked. And that's why this program is so important. The care is consistent, and it's aggressive, and it's professional. It's just a unique and wonderful place to be able to get well and stay well, and we're very fortunate to have that in our community.
In 1982, I adopted Michelle. She was a Wednesday's child on one of the local stations, so she came through the Department of Family and Children's Services. Soon after I adopted her, I noticed that there were some physical things that bothered me.
Down syndrome folks are born with all kinds of problems that are not necessarily obvious. Usually, Down's folks die before they reached mid-30s of cardiac problems, of heart problems.
It wasn't until last year in August that Michelle became ill at work on August 19th. And that night I realized I had to get her in here. And that was the beginning of a long-term relationship with Tanner. We basically were in intensive care from August 19th until October 7th. So they became our family. The first time I found myself here, I was frightened to death. But I noticed there was always a nurse that seemed to come and hold my hand and wrap their arms around me. You weren't aware of it at first, but somebody was there to take care of you. So now when we come into the ICU, I don't have those fears that I used to.
The staff, as so often happens here, became her kindred.
We just consider this a tremendous medical facility that we're lucky to have.
The community has been very, very supportive of this hospital. We're putting on a heart center, and we're just expanding the general capabilities of the hospital.
There'll be a lot of new features in this building, one of which is called the Health Wellness Learning Center, just to learn how to prevent those diseases and carry wellness to a whole different level.
All the great cancer centers, all the great heart centers, surgery centers throughout the country, they typically involve philanthropists and community involvement. We've got to partner with great people to make a great place.
God gave them the knowledge to know what to do, and they did it to me, and here I am today, and I'm a survivor.
I converted into a normal sinus rhythm, and we got the fluid off, and I was sent home, and I've not had any trouble since then.
I wanted to know that Michelle had the emotional support where she was loved. We've had another year together that we really shouldn't have had.
Our community should know, and if they don't know, they have a real gem and a real resource, and they don't have to go anywhere else to get quality care. It's right here.